Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to expose the harsh, unfiltered reality and the ultimate psychological journey of becoming a consistently profitable day trader. If you've ever stared at a chart and wondered why it feels like the market is personally hunting down your stop loss, well, you are in exactly the right place. We are cutting straight through the noise today and charting the true evolution of a professional trader.
Let's dive right into a massive number that honestly should make everyone stop in their tracks. 90%. That is the brutal reality of how many retail traders fail and completely lose their money in the financial markets. Across almost every source we analyzed, from Bookstock to Mind Over Markets, this statistic just looms large. It's a staggering reality check. You start out thinking you're absolutely going to be the exception, but the math is ruthlessly stacked against the unprepared.
So, it forces us to ask a very painful question. Why on earth do so many people fail when there are literally thousands of strategies available for free online? I mean, you can hop on YouTube right now and find endless tutorials on every single indicator under the sun. The knowledge is out there, the strategies are out there. So what is the massive disconnect between having access to all this information and actually making money? Well, the trap usually starts with the fake gurus. Naive beginners are constantly lured in by these frauds promising easy money, completely ignoring the deeply boring, methodical reality of actual trading. As analysts like Aim on Trading have rigorously exposed, the internet is just flooded with scams promising you can risk $400 to make $7, or pushing shady offshore brokers. They sell you the dream of sports cars and instant wealth. But real trading, it's not about gambling your entire account on a single breakout. Real trading is entirely about capital preservation and executing a highly consistent, almost monotonous routine. And that brings us to the first real phase of a trader's evolution: market structure and professional tools. To finally break away from those get-rich-quick schemes, you actually have to learn how to read the charts. Instead of chasing magic signals, this is where you begin learning the actual tools professionals use to map supply and demand. You drop the cluttered, laggy indicators and start studying concepts heavily utilized by channels like Fractal Flow and Pro Trading School. You look at volume profile to see where the real money is stepping in. You look at VWAP as an institutional fair value tool, and you really start to understand liquidity sweeps. You are finally learning the true language of the market structure. But as you acquire these tools, you'll likely hit a wall. Welcome to Phase 2, the illusion of progress, or busy versus better. The analyst JFX points out a brilliant tough love truth here. Jumping into any candle that twitches feels like hard work, but it's actually just a quick dopamine hit. Flicking through 10 pairs an hour, that is the trading equivalent of running on a treadmill. You're getting lots of motion, sure, but absolutely zero distance covered. Traders constantly confuse being busy with getting better. Logging double the trades because you feel like you're in the zone isn't progress. Your brain is getting a rush of adrenaline. Orders are firing, but your equity curve is just flatlining. Real progress is measured by the number of quality decisions you make, not the sheer volume of trades you execute. You see, a lot of the time you aren't actually analyzing anything. You're kind of just decorating charts with useless lines to justify your own emotional biases. Bad analysis leaves you guessing. It's entirely hindsight-driven, meaning literally anything can be proven right after the fact. Good analysis, on the other hand, is about framing the most likely paths forward. It leaves you with a clear, highly structured plan. If the price reaches this specific zone, I will do exactly this. So when the market finally moves, you aren't reacting emotionally. You already know exactly how to execute. Now, this marks a massive turning point. You're about to face the ultimate boss fight. Phase 3, psychology versus strategy, which is really all about mastering the mind. The crucial point here, heavily explored in Mind Over Markets, is that a strategy means absolutely nothing if you panic during a drawdown or exit your winning trades way too early. Why? Because your psychological system is fundamentally broken. You think your problem is that you need some new, shiny technical entry model. But the truth is, your internal system for handling fear and greed was just never built. You could hand a mathematically perfect strategy to a trader with zero emotional control, and for sure, it will still result in a blown account. To actually survive this, you have to completely abandon that gambler's dopamine rush and adopt a strict framework of absolute control. Enter DOD, discipline over dopamine. Famously championed by Jaden Trades, this concept has to become your everyday mantra. It means walking away when your setup simply isn't there. It means feeling that desperate, burning urge to revenge trade after a bad loss, acknowledging it, and then actively choosing to just close your laptop instead. Making this happen requires a really profound philosophical shift in your daily habits. This brings us to Phase 4, the Kaizen trader, getting 1% better every single day.
The Japanese philosophy of Kaizen teaches us that bad habits, like revenge trading, are actually biological reflexes. We have to break them through tiny 1% daily improvements, not overnight willpower. As Stick Trader beautifully breaks down, willpower is just a finite resource. Eventually, it's going to be overpowered by your emotions. You can't just yell at yourself in the mirror to be more disciplined tomorrow. You have to slowly, methodically rewire your nervous system.
So true, identity-based discipline follows a very specific, structured cycle of continuous self-mastery. First, you learn a concept. Then you apply it in the market. And then, and this is the absolute most critical part, you step back and observe your own emotions during the trade. Were you anxious? Did you force the entry? You use that raw data to adjust your mindset. And then you return to the market tomorrow slightly better than you were today. That is how you build real, unshakable discipline. All right, let's move into the final stage of this evolution, phase 5, surviving the market and compounding your edge. The contrast between a gambler and a true trader is night and day. A professional prioritizes capital preservation above all else, usually limiting risk to just 1% per trade. They know that keeping their money is far more important than making it. Think about it. You can have a mediocre strategy with incredibly solid risk management and you will survive. But if you have a world-class strategy with poor position sizing, say you risk 10% just because you have a good feeling, you will inevitably blow up your account. The real goal isn't just to make money today, it's to stay in the game long enough for your statistical edge to actually play out. As the historical trading legend Jesse Livermore proved, and the source Whispers of Livermore frequently highlights this timeless wisdom, true wealth in the market is made by waiting patiently, not by frantically clicking buttons. The market generates endless noise, all perfectly designed to trick you into action bias. But the professionals? They know their job is actually to do nothing for 90% of the time. They sit on their hands, they wait for their exact high-probability zones to trigger, and when they do, they execute without a moment of hesitation. The fewer decisions you make, the better you trade. So I'll leave you with this final thought to take away from our explainer today. Stop focusing on predicting the market and start focusing entirely on controlling yourself. The charts are going to be here tomorrow, next month, and next year. The ultimate question isn't whether the market will provide opportunities, it's whether you will have the capital and the psychological fortitude left to actually seize them. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today, and I highly encourage you to start observing your own mind just as closely as you observe the charts.